Hello, my name is Chloe Mullins, and I chose to do my final project on the human-dog bond. And this is for the Honors 290 class. People always say that dogs make us happier and calmer, but what's cool is that science actually backs that up. In this video, I'm going to show how researchers have measured real hormonal changes in both dogs and humans when we interact, like eye contact, touch, and affection. We'll look at what happens inside both species and how the studies were designed and what that means for the human-dog bond. The human-dog bond is a mutual connection where eye contact and gentle interaction create hormonal changes that strengthen trust and reduce stress in both species. Some important hormones that come up in this research are oxytocin, vasopressin, and cortisol. Oxytocin is called the bonding or the love hormone, while it is produced in the hypothalamus, while vasopressin and cortisol are more tied to stress and alertness. Cortisol is produced in the adrenal gland, and vasopressin is also produced in the hypothalamus. These hormones matter because they shape social behavior. Oxytocin supports bonding and trust, while vasopressin and cortisol are connected to stress, vigilance, and emotional arousal. So shifting these hormones actually changes how both dogs and humans feel and behave. The big question for scientists has been, can short, everyday interactions with dogs, like looking at them or petting them, cause real measurable changes? And these are the stress and the oxytocin systems, just to give you an idea of kind of what they look like and where they produced. One of the most famous studies on this topic is by Nagasawa et al. In 2015. They looked at how much time dogs and their owners spent making eye contact, which is what they called mutual gaze. Before and after a 30-minute interaction, they collected urine samples from both dogs and their owners. The results were amazing because dog-owner pairs who shared a long, affectionate gaze had significant increases in oxytocin in both the people and their dogs, but pairs with short gazes showed no change, and the same test in socialized wolves didn't work at all. That wolf comparison is important because it suggests this oxytocin feedback loop may be something that evolved specifically during dog domestication. Then they gave some dogs intranasal oxytocin and found those dogs looked longer at their owners, and that extra eye contact caused a rise in the owner's oxytocin too. That's a full feedback loop. Oxytocin increases gaze, and gaze increases oxytocin. It's basically the biochemical version of falling in love, but between species. The next study, by McLean et al. In 2017, focused on what happens in just 10 minutes of friendly interaction. They worked with 38 dogs, Labradors, or Lab Golden mixes, and randomly assigned them to one of two groups: a human-animal interaction group, where people quietly petted, talked to, and interacted with the dogs, or a control group, where the dogs simply rested nearby without being touched. Researchers collected blood and saliva samples before and after tested both for oxytocin and vasopressin, which is a hormone linked to stress and arousal, like I mentioned before. They found that in the human-animal interaction group, salivary oxytocin rose about 39%, and plasma oxytocin rose about 6%. In the control group, oxytocin didn't change at all. For vasopressin, it flipped, where plasma vasopressin dropped about 13% in the human-animal interaction dogs, while salivary vasopressin went up roughly 33% in controls. And the most interesting part is that dogs that showed more affiliative behaviors, like leading, eye contact, or related proximity, had larger oxytocin increases and stronger vasopressin decreases. That means it's not just being around a human that matters, it's how we interact. The next study, by Hanlon et al., looked at what happens during short periods of normal owner-dog interaction. The owners spent a few minutes calmly petting and engaging with their dogs, while the researchers measured oxytocin and cortisol before and after. They found that oxytocin went up, both the owners and the dogs, and cortisol went down, especially in the owners. This shows that even a brief familiar interaction can support bonding and lower the stress. It also reinforces that the quality of the interaction, like calm petting and a relaxed approach, really shapes the hormonal response. The next study by Peterson et al. In 2017 took this idea into the real-world settings, where they found that different styles of owner touch related to both hormone levels and behavior. Calm and steady petting was linked with higher oxytocin and lower cortisol, and those dogs acted more relaxed, while more stimulating and playful contact related to different hormonal patterns. It shows that our behavior choices during everyday interactions literally influence how our dogs' bodies respond. This also lines up with what trainers and veterinarians see in practice. Calm, low-stress handling builds trust faster because the dog's physiology is literally shifting into a bonding state. When you look at all these studies together, its consistent pattern starts to stand out. Attention and gentle touch increase oxytocin, and positive low-stress interaction can lower hormones such as cortisol and vasopressin. These changes occur in both dogs and humans, so the response is truly two-sided. The way we interact always plays an important role because eye contact, a calm tone, and gentle handling all influence how strong these physiological changes are. Overall, the research shows that the dog and human bond functions as a biological feedback system rather than just an emotional connection. All 4 studies use real biological biomarkers like urine, plasma, and saliva, so even though each study runs things a little differently, they all point to the same biological pattern. So the next time your dogs hold eye contact with you or rest against you while you're petting them, remember that the interaction has a measurable biological basis. Within minutes, both you and your dog experience coordinated hormonal changes that support bonding and reduce stress. It's a documented physiological process, not just an emotional impression. Thank you.